It's not crazy.
Yeah.
Then you've got Vegas. They're opening Zero Bond. We'll be at the
What is
Wynn.
that?
Zero Bond is a New York-based membership club, but there's one opening in Vegas. Oh yeah, you should know about this.
Yeah.
I'll connect you to the guys there.
How much is that?
About the same, maybe 3,000 or 3,500. So members only.
Just go whenever you want, or is it meetings?
No, you go whenever you want.
And what is it, just like a hangout?
It's a hangout, it's a lounge, but like you're, you know, it's Scott is at that. The next one over is like
Soho House?
Yeah, but
Soho House?
it's super elevated. Not Soho House, because it is like Soho House, but it's whereas the pricing is about the same, they're more selective in their process of accepting people. So you can't. It's not just because you can write that you have to be accepted into the place.
Got it. Okay.
You have to be usually nominated by or referred by 2 or more guests, and then you have to be accepted by the committee at the club most of the time.
Makes me want to do it.
No,
I want to do the Vegas one. I want to do the Vegas.
The Vegas one's where you want to be for you.
Yeah.
And then in New York, you've got Zero Bond is a great one in New York, but then Crane Club is a Tao establishment, so Crane Club's been crushing it in New York. All of it is built off of a very London feel, and London is a very, very membership-heavy city, and so if you're not at a membership club in London, you're really not doing the right thing. It's not like you're going to like clubs and bars.
Really?
There's Annabelle is probably the most famous membership club in the world. I mean, you're talking about some people dropping $1 million to $2 million to get into a special section of Annabelle, which has unguarded Picassos on the wall, like it's the real deal. Then there's a place called 22 in London. There's a place called Arts Club, and you know they serve some of the best Toro and some great steaks, and it's just good conversation, good people, protected, secure. Where I was at Birch Streets a couple weeks ago, and Taylor and Travis came in, and they're just sitting there, and they don't have to worry about who they're next to. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I mean, they should in my circumstance. Who's this idiot? But it's an interesting dynamic, and I don't currently belong to any. I'm finally making I will get the Zero Bond.
How are you with that?
You can go as guests. You can go with anyone who has a membership.
So is that the shift from nightlife right now? It's gone from like clubs and going to like, what was the one in One Oak? They used to be like really big here.
Yeah, Oak closed, and there's now Keys. There's certainly so first and foremost, as far as nightlife is concerned, alcohol is in decline. Alcohol is in rapid, permanent decline, they're saying.
Yes.
There's just a lot of people out there who just don't want to drink alcohol anymore. It's very, it's very detrimental to your health, to your decision making, obviously. And so some people are going towards psychedelics, some people are just doing drugs. Like there's a lot of stuff going on out there, but alcohol has become it's in decline. And so what you're seeing along with that is you're seeing a lot of very alcohol dependent scenarios also decline, and that means super clubs, because there's really no way to want to spend that much time in a club, like a super club, without being under the influence. It's just not so I think the trend will continue to push towards lounges, places that you can have conversation, which is great. And of course, like, we live in a world where everybody wants to have they want to be in an aspirational scenario. Everybody wants to be at the place that you can't get into. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of the thing. And right now, that's membership clubs, but it is also even behind the rise of Delilah, for example. I mean, Delilah in Vegas, I believe Delilah in Vegas is the #1 producing restaurant on the planet right now. I could be wrong. This could be completely off, and it might not be like, I think a lot of places will list Mila in Miami. I mean, we're talking about $100 million annual establishments at this point. Like, it's insane. And I love Mila in Miami as well. It's a fantastic restaurant, lounge, bar, club, everything. But it certainly feels like people are moving away from clubs and more towards lounges, speakeasies, and places that play
Dude, you would make a fortune if you started your own.
I would love to. I don't think it's outside of my
No, I think it's perfect. I think it's that's
the burgers there.
Dude, that would be, and you're with your network,
yeah,
and who you have behind you, oh my gosh, I mean, it would be crowded day one. No other influencers doing
It's
that.
it's funny you say that because we almost just did one to house 1010. They wanted it to be a combo of like a bar and 1010, and we didn't do it all simply because it was here. We didn't like the location. But certainly, and also like that's like the weird situation to be in now is like the access to capital, like for creators like at this level is just insane. Because I was excited to come on the show today, and it's because like I do see all of the stuff. Like I see all of the back end that like the world doesn't usually hear about. But like there's a lot of these companies right now that have a ton of funding to like buy perpetual ownership of creators. Like I'm sure you guys have probably either been offered or no.
I've been offered, but the offers are so low when you look at like the payback period, which I understand for a creator could go to zero overnight. So you have to.
But what are you talking like 30, 15, 30 years? Are you talking about the length of the payback period or the length at which they own?
No, I'm talking about the length of the payback period. So it's like I would be better off just taking my ad revenue for 12 months.
Oh, right.
And, like take a buyout.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is they do it in the event that you need upfront capital.
Yeah.
And the obstacle they're up against is when they're coming at people that don't have needs for upfront capital. There's only a few people who spend all of their money on their business, and like truthfully, like even with Jimmy, like we'll see where it ends up. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll see what there's all these people out there that want to count everybody's paper billions. You know what I'm saying? Who knows where it goes? Who really knows what happens? You know what I'm saying? Now for Jimmy, it's gonna work.
Oh, yeah.
His little experiment will work, but for other people who are just dumping 100% of their revenue into their projects, like it's not always gonna work, you know. And so, there's just so much capital out there. Like that's the one thing that like is the easiest thing to get. Like the hard thing to get is operational acuity, expertise. Like, dude, the reason why Prime is not because they had somebody that was willing to put up $20 million. It's because they got operational greatness in their partner. You know what I'm saying? In Congo, they got the best in the world. They got world-class operational support, manufacturer, distribution connections. Yeah. But it all comes down to who you're working with and how the passion for the project actually works. 1010 Burger works because I care about that burger like it's my child.
Yeah.
It is the best burger. It really is. I am obsessed with it. You know, and Logan is obsessed with Prime. Obsessed with it. He wakes up, it's the only thing he thinks about and talks all day about. You know, so that's part of it.
It was cute, by the way. I had some gardeners who were redoing my front landscape, and they had their kid with them, and the kid was maybe like 5 years old, 6 years old. And anytime I have someone at the house, I offer them, I say, hey, can I get you waters? And I just have to, do you want waters? I got Prime. And the kid, oh my God, his eyes lit up. And the mom was like, you have Prime? And I'm like, yeah, Prime. And the kid was like a big fan of Prime. Like, that was his thing. And I brought out Primes. And there was a new flavor that I don't think was in stores yet. And I gave that to him. I'd never seen someone so happy. And then I said, do you like Feastables? And he's like, Mr. Beast? And I'm like, yeah, Mr. Beast. And I brought out candy for him. They were so excited.
Yeah.
It's so excited.
It's crazy. I remember, that reminds me, during Halloween this year, I have a neighborhood that gets thousands of kids. Like we probably bought 4,000 pieces of candy and we ran out with like 2 hours to spare. And I remember I had a bunch of Prime because they keep sending it to me as well. Like, keep sending it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I remember I would randomly pick like one out of every 20 or 25 kids. Like, all right, come on. What we're going to do is we're going to play a game. We're going to throw a piece of candy off of the top of the staircase. And if you catch it in your basket, I'll give you a special treat. And it was a Prime. And when I gave it to the kids, they freaked out. I was like, it's a drink, which is great, but I don't know what it was, but like, I don't know. And then everyone started talking about it. People would like try to sneak back in.
It's lightning in a bottle. I mean, truthfully, like what happened with Prime is not to be replicated. It's how it worked, and it's like it's a combination of things. It's like I said, it's marketing, acuity, manufacturing capability, and distribution connections to get to retail, to do all that stuff and do it right. It's the marketing, the day-to-day marketing, the short-form marketing, the storytelling that Logan and KSI did. But then it's really more than anything else, it's like, have I identified hole in the marketplace that really has a yearning to be filled. Who knew if that was gonna? I don't think anyone on that team thought that product was gonna do more than $20 million. Like, dude, when they started talking about billions with an S in sales, like it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing to imagine where that product has gone, and it's because all of those three things checked out. There was some sort of desire within the or ability to disrupt that sports drink or hydration space that they fill.
But I think, it's such a strong brand that I think especially kids really, really, really resonate with. Like I remember speaking of Jack's candy, Jimmy sent us his candy, but it was wrapped in $100 of cash, and he sent it to give it out in Halloween. And so what we did for fun, I took the candy bar out, so it's just the cash, $100. Yeah, and I scribbled on. So in the giant thing of candy, we have a wad of $1 bills for $100 in the candy, and we just let the kid pick. The kids never picked the money. They would pick the Mr. Beast bar over the $100. Now we're talking like they're 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever. But there's a few times where the parent was like, "Are you sure you want that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the candy. Are you sure you?" They picked the candy for the $100.
But then we had some like older trick or treaters that were like 14, 15, and then we would like hold out the money and they'd like take the money.
But it
Some
upset
kid
me.
with a mustache came up and I'm like, okay, like what are you?
You know what? It upset me how ungrateful they seemed. Like they would
Oh
just
yeah, well I think
take the money and then no reaction.
I think they were in shock. Is that like they're like, there's no way.
No, but they would take and look at it, put it in the bag, thank you, and then it's like that wasn't just a candy. That's $100 of cash.
No, kids are look at they're losing track of it's like I go online nowadays and the storylines around how much everybody's making, which you see all the time, and they're so wrong. I mean, they are so wrong. I like DDG posted this funny screenshot last week.
That's not real.
Not even 1/20th. He doesn't even you know what I'm saying? Like $12 million a month. He's making $144 million a year in ad revenue. Every kid that read that was like, oh wow, that's a good month for him. What are you talking about?
I was surprised people believed that.
Some people, all the they lost track of not lost track, they never learned what money means or how much is realistic or whatever. It's like, once again, I'm not going to pocket watch DDG, and he makes great money. He's making $12 million a month. I would assume if he has a great month, he might make $400,000, $340,000 on a great month. Maybe.
But you know what?
He's
It's
on
good.
a kick.
But it's good marketing.
And he's great. I was just on stream with him last. DDG's great, and he's a great creator. But dude, come on, they're just too young to understand what those numbers mean, and they're too brainwashed.
Bro, what want that? And like, yeah, the candy.
Thought that product was going to do more than $20 million. Dude, when they started talking about billions with an S in sales, it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing to imagine where that product has gone, and it's because all of those three things checked out. There was some sort of desire within the or ability to disrupt that sports drink or